they don't really see IHC as giants. And now that they've taken a map in a very important tournament, in a very important qualifier off of IHC, they're only looking to cement that further by taking yet another and perhaps closing it out 2-0. But of course, I am getting a little ahead of myself. That's what they would ideally want to do. But I'd see they are monsters on Inferno, and that's what they've picked up.
And that's where things will be getting a little bit interesting, because as much of a monster IHC might be on Inferno, that's as poor Eruption is on Inferno themselves. And, you know, Boris may be being a little bit harsh, but they do definitely struggle on the map, so we're going to have to wait to see exactly how this one shapes out for them. But as we start things off and we get underway, it's going to be a quick deep CT smoke to the B bomb site for IHC to try and quickly clamber onto it. And as they start to move forward, Fury is just trying to plink away through it all, and he'll be unable to find anything. It's all down to score as he's still proceeding through on the bomb site. Bomb will be planted. It's a full 5-on-5 retake with Blitz still having a Molotov in his control for Banana.
Oh yeah, as soon as he sees that push coming through from Banana, he's wasted so much time. They're trying to push through. Only one player has made it past though, and that is Coolest. The numbers advantage might be there for the CTs, but the time is ticking down. IHC, they've got to worry for the utility as well. Flashes and mollies coming through. They've at least cleared out New Box, and now Storm needs to move. Voud gets a headshot as he does. Yami is able to eventually take him out, and Annihilation Bartek are playing in a bait and switch setup. The bomb starts to get tapped. Dobu is trying to stick onto it. He's knocked off the bomb by the Glock from Techno, and Eruption unfortunately cannot get the retake. IHC, solid start to the round.
Absolutely crucial right now that they're able to get this sorted out. And as we're going to be waiting to see how this proceeds forward, it all comes down to the very simple question that Eruption, do they have the 4 spies in them, right? Because that's something where IHC have been struggling a little bit recently, even on Inferno. We saw them lose to Rare Adam as a result of that, or at least rather almost lose, I think. And that was because those 4 spies just weren't going their way. Anti-4 spies, they were really struggling. That's why they fought out one by one, and that almost happens right here. Shinobi trades out 1-for-1 for now. That's not supposed to be there. Alright. Accidental buttons can be pressed, and that's something that we're going to try to avoid. But Bartek, close range, 5-7's caught him off guard and taken him down. And with Dobu and Fury still here, MP9 recovered, this is going to be a real hard time in the 4-on-3.
Nice shot from Dobu onto Techno. 2-on-3 situation now. Bomb to be collected early on. Plenty of time to work with though. With a full minute, choose where they want to go. Oh, Yami, that is a nasty way to start things off with a Mag 7. Apartments control established, and now Annihilation is all by himself.
Still inching forward. Now, there's still a chance that he can maybe get a bomb plant down in here, courtesy of Fury's positioning, right? Because Fury, if he's going to be caught off, he's the only player on this B bomb site. Annihilation, unfortunately, just a little bit worried, and he doesn't really want to foray forward yet. So we'll have to put a stop to things. Clock's ticking down severely low, and I love this from Eruption. They're in no rush to try and take this man down. They're saying, we've won the round. We've got what we wanted. The 4 spies ours, and that's exactly the kind of round they needed. But Fury's given up his life, and with that, maybe even a possibility of the bomb to be planted. The smoke down for CT, and Annihilation can cross over and get the bomb down.
And Annihilation just wants to try and get a kill before he does punch the numbers in. Is there enough time? Oh, no, he was off by a few milliseconds, maybe.
Well, hey man, I'm telling you, I know my timings, right? That's just how it goes, and he just didn't have that, unfortunately. And look, like I said, that's going to be a real big problem for IHC if they can't move past this big hurdle of, hey, what exactly are we going to do in the anti-4 spy situations? How is that going to work out for us? And so far, it's not been working out all the best, so we're going to have to wait to see exactly where this one goes forward. And as I believe we do have X-rays back, if I'm not wrong, but I very often am, so hey. Who might a comment?
Yeah, X-rays were a bit buggy in the previous map as well, unfortunately, but we're trying to work on it.
I think we might not have them even now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I'm like trying to peep through and try to look into T-spawn from the perspective of the CTs. I'm trying to see like a bunch of blotches of the X-ray, but I can't.
It's always hard. Always hard like that. Just got a short tech timeout coming through right now, as we're going to try and figure out exactly what's going on. Might just be that X-ray problem that we'd outlined as well. Of course, in the meanwhile, this gives us a bit more time to actually go through and discuss IHC's previous record on Inferno as well as Eruption. Eruption themselves, even when they were under the moniker of Iraf, they were doing very poorly on this map. It was one of the few that they had to regularly play because Mirage is a permaban for them, and there aren't very many teams that actually ban out Mirage, so there wasn't much crossover there either. So always something to be a little bit concerned about.
Of course, ISU really need to watch out now. They cannot give up too many rounds on the T side. Eruption, they definitely have the comfort of winning out in this early on. Nice little comeback there from Annihilation. At least tries to nip the damage in the bud. Although they haven't quite made it out of T-spawn. Just feeling that pressure early on from Eruption, and you see that Eruption, once they start to get a bit of control over towards apartments, they're not really going to press the issue any further. Instead, they're just going to allow these two players that are playing in brackets to do their work. In the meantime, Shinobi, he's starting to get very confident. Yami is going to be such a menace here.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to actually deal with him as he's starting to move forward. This will not be fair. Of course, they very recently had a player there, but Yami's forced to reveal his position, and there's no way you get out of there. The A-bomb side is completely exposed. Dogu's the only person who can try and rotate forward. Shinobi and Coolest are making their way down. Banana, they too are overrun. Bartek is down.
Numbers punched in. IHC. Some of the clutch potential we saw from Eruption needs to come through from the IHC camp as well. Score, unfortunately punished by the MAC-10 even at that long range and blitz. I mean, what are you really going to do with shreds of HP on your name? Eruption, second round confirmed.
Okay, guys, we're going to try one more time. We're going to go to cams, and when we do it, I'm going to pull out my magic fingers. Shoom. Right, we're not on cams yet, so you can't see my magic fingers. X-ray on. And that's how I win my games as well.
Okay,
Wait,
let me tell you where the actual
all.
magic finger is. That's the X-ray button.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
It works now, I promise.
I've been doing it wrong all this time. But,
we'll
yeah.
never be the wiser. Who knows whether it was me pressing one button or you
Well,
doing the whole jazz hands.
well, we'll have to find out. We're going to go back to the game now, though, and there we go. It's on. It is on like Donkey Kong. And hopefully we can say the same about the CT side as well as Eruption. Pleasant surprise to things early in, but as I say that, Bartek will burn to death. Fury, the man to deliver him under, but you know what? He's happy to throw in another grenade in there as well. Flame is aren't the only way you can get damage. It's also just old-fashioned Galils, but not going to beat you 50 meters by hitting shots like that.
Yeah, Fury got a little too aggressive there. He could have very easily backed off to the comfort of a teammate, but now Annihilation's been put in a 1-on-2. He's got an MP9, he's got a Desert Eagle, and he's relying on the ladder to try and get a one-shot headshot. Coolest, not quite peeking out, has the audio cue on Annihilation as well, so the information's going to be lopsided numbers. Starting to be entered, Coolest. Here it is. Shadow spotted, but what the hell is Annihilation going to do about it? 3-1, Eruption feeling pretty comfortable starting off now.
Now with Coolest swap out, we saw what a menace he was on Anubis with that one.
Oh,
I am really looking forward to
something.
seeing. Oh, what happened?
I made the grave mistake of not muting what I'm supposed to mute, and I just went for a hard cough and a quick gulp of water.
I'd say you're all fine. You're all fine. It's okay.
Nobody noticed.
Sometimes people just choke it out and scores, hoping he's not one of them. Yami's found Blitz in the meanwhile as he tried to get aggressive early on, straight back to the balcony. Coolest! Ay, ay, ay. He is
disallowed
himself
on the server.
Yeah. Quick, boost me up, boost me up. There's one player. Are you sure about that? Okay.
Oh. Come on, man. I've been struggling on HLTV. Let me get this one.
Nah, man, he's not been struggling. Coolest. Never.
Except when he's taking that shot.
Had to say it. It's 3-on-3, but this retake is coming in from the CT side by pressuring down mid rather than trying to go back through B, and there isn't another smoke ready, so it all has to come down to Annihilation's open, whether he can find these kills, and of course he can. Good for the one, good for the two. No, it's actually Dobu who overruns him. A flashbang straight in so he can try and clear out sandbags, and it's all going to be up to him to distract long enough for Yami to get this first duel versus Techno.
First duel is going to be everything. Techno preemptively peeked out. Oh, he could have missed that duel there, but Dobu is trying to isolate these two. Knows that the player can only be behind second box. He nearly cleared out triple, but he turns around to try to avoid the crossfire. And IHC, they're able to put their second on the board.
And with that Eruption, what little chance they had of trying to keep their economy strong is gone as well. And look, this is just over-aggression coming out from Coolest over there. And as much as, you know, I'm singing his praises and it sounds like, well, weren't you just saying he's really good? Well, he is, right? Like, he is, don't get me wrong. But you can't be peaking like that in the 5v3s in a position where if you miss, then you've lost the 5v3. It's back to 2-3 and your team's just in so much more of a difficult position. Maybe it's reasonable to say that that second peak from the anchor is perhaps what really was even worse, but you know, regardless, potato, the round is gone, and so is Bartek.
Yeah, they really traded that 4-1 for a 3-2 just for the sake of that preemptive peak. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Good start for the CTs though here on round number 6. Aggressive angle with the MP9 as well. Man, that could have worked out, but unfortunately scored a little too quick on the trigger. Techno is showing us some acrobatics with his AK as he jumps out the smoke. Is able to get quite a bit of damage through the smoke as well, and Yami, I'm sure he's wanting to preemptively push through. He wants to try and get them off the bomb. Flicks onto the second target, but Blitz is able to get him through the smoke, and Coolest, he knows that he's all but done. Backs off into the safety of A. The dreaded Inferno curse.
Just gotta save that up, man.
I'm not gonna lie, when this game started, you know, I was starting to feel like, you know, Eruption, they might be beating history all of a sudden, right? You said that historically they haven't been amazing on Inferno, but had they been able to seal the deal with Coolest not taking that peak, been able to get to that 4-1, suddenly we'd be seeing a much different IHC. They'd be a lot more pressured. Eruption would have a little bit more money to work with in the subsequent rounds as well, so a few problems going a long way for them, unfortunately.
Yeah. Of course, with that being said, though, we have to remember, right? Like, IHC struggle on these anti-force buys. Is this going to be another struggle? That's the big question right here and now. Setting up for a full one, boost forward, won't be able to come through and go for a very fast, quick peek in straight to Bartek's face. Bartek's gone. The Deagle in the hands of Fury will not be able to strike yet. Yami has got a close range Max 7 that Techno will have to be oh so careful about. And as soon as he peeks forward, that's a missed shot from Yami. A little bit too far to the right, but Fury's got the quick Deagle to respond. Will keep it going, but only so long until score is through. But so is Dobu. Rushes through the smoke and he can take the man down. Shinobi trying to connect on the score while the bomb was being planted, isolated into a 1v1, but just can't find the shots. Coolest will once again be forced to save.
Yeah, incredible work being done by the Desert Eagles, especially the fact that Fury is able to get a kill there with what seemed like less than 10 HP. But unfortunately, they just can't hold the line long enough for that AWP from Coolest to be relevant. Maybe I would have really liked to see the player in CT not push aggressively. Let it stay in that 2 versus 2 position for Coolest to be able to reunite in just a little bit, but that doesn't really come to fruition, but still. I think if it wasn't a Mag 7, if it was an MP9, we'd be seeing a completely different story. That entry would have been entirely denied because the Mag 7 just doesn't do amazing things off that position if you're playing on top of the box. It's just way too easy for the spread to be factored in, and it's a little too RNG. But I see they have made it forward now. Getting that lead, starting off 3-1, but starting to make their mark on the scoreboard now and starting to show us a few of the reasons why they picked into Inferno.
Well, now we'll have to wait to see whether or not Eruption still have it in them when this secondary half buy out the back of the op to try and get another chance to upset through. No early aggression from IHC, but Coolest is once again good for the one, and the jumping Mag 7's gonna keep it going. Yummy, please stop, brother. He is so far away. And now Shinobi peeks out. That's another 5v3 given up for free. Right, you're now in a 4v3. Still an advantage, but not as much so. And I feel like the 4v3 is the mark where you're no longer all too worried, but hold the point, Coolest. Oh, what a position to find himself in. Annihilation is gone. Coolest is doing it all on his own, but Bartek's inside the bomb site and he wasn't prepared. Coolest will still be able to pull out the op in time! He's done it all, Coolest! And now Score trying to repeat what Bartek failed at, but will he find that success? Coolest more worried about the apartments, and Score is in a 1v3. The bomb being planted. MP9 to take control of apartments. AK recovered from Dobu as well. And Score will be discovered oh so soon. That's such a crucial time to get the kill. They still haven't gone up through short. They won't be nearby enough to have heard him drop.
This is doable.
Just can't get it done.
Like that.
Still, man, what an impressive round from Coolest over there.
Yeah, especially, I love how Coolest was able to leverage the pressure over towards Banana to actually weasel into apartments and just play off of second mid and make that AWP way more relevant than it would have been able to. So just a little bit of teamwork going a long way. Making way for your Opera on the other side of the map, just trying to enable him to pincer from the second side. That is beautiful work.
Coolest now. Once again, hoping to get aggressive and find that early pick the way he has been so many times over. But Yami is the one who's pressured down. Bartek able to take him apart. The three-man feet coming through. Coolest still prepared and ready to stop any further aggression, and they're not able to close the distance fast enough that they can try to punish him or even think about it. The smoke down from Score, the one-way doesn't help with that. And right now, Dobu will take advantage of it on his own. Dobu with a quick frag, a grenade through as well. Blitz has got to try and avoid it, while Bartek is oh so low and oh so nearby.
Very difficult for them to clear out Dobu right now. He's just got such a prime position to take players out. And unfortunately, they're in a bit of a stalemate here. And quite progressive. Now Dobu, there it is. The spray continues. Blitz will finally burn him up, but at what cost? Because Annihilation is quite low on HP. 3v2, Annihilation would have to go huge, but Coolest doesn't even care that his opponent's low. He's still going to go through the brutality of ending him with an op.
Coolest is 12-3 right now. This guy is... It's not like it's a solo carry, but the kind of kills he's getting consistently, right? It's a first opening frag again and again. Right now in the previous one, it's a trade to make sure that that freebie that was found when Bartek gets the kill, yeah, that's not a freebie at all. That's just Coolest being able to fit himself into Boiler, because initially he was taking that peek in through short, and he's so fast to react to any sort of information there. He is very much on point. And now, guess what? Money is reset again. This is a consistent theme with IHC, and I'm glad that we were able to talk about it a little bit in the beginning, that they are struggling these days against these anti-force buys, because that has been the story of the game so far for Eruption. From 5 of these rounds, 2 of them have been off the back of force buy wins, and 2 more have been off the back of subsequent anti-lower economy stakes. So, hey, it's not going to get any easier from here.
Definitely not, but what I'm really interested in seeing in how things are going to transpire once the IHC are on that CT side, because of course, I'm actually not too sure about what the strengths are of IHC when it comes to Inferno, so you can probably enlighten me a little bit more on that, but I'm not really sure how the CT versus T side debate really factors into this. Particularly for IHC at least.
Dobu and Shinobi. With 4 players here on the side bomb side, they have they've done exactly what they need. The only thing now you have to be careful about is Fury doesn't die early on. Cooler spots up first best, which is out. Dobu's there, bait and switch. Annihilation only man to get a frag.
I was just thinking, Annihilation is such a Call of Duty 4 username. But back in the day, it wouldn't be written with just letters. You know, you'd have like a space in there. You'd have a 1. You'd have a 4.
The @ sign probably.
Mm-hmm.
1
and then you have a little emoticon at the end.
Yeah. Well, that's a game for another time, because right now the game we've got on our hands is where Annihilation is not having too much of a good time. 4-6 IHC. Can't imagine that they're particularly content with the circumstances at hand and how things have been going so far. They'll go back to... Wow, there's 4 players on the B bomb site early on from Eruption. Yikes. Yeah, you guys are going to have a lot to deal with over here. Score through the smoke will find the first, but there's 3 more where that came from.
Yeah, there's just so much faith going into Coolest, but now Score all by his lonesome. He's been able to get 3. How is he getting this much space? But Coolest and Yami can at least try and bring it all together. Coolest on the other side of the map. He's managed to get 1, but what the hell was that round?
Score is insane. Oh, so there's
the odds
4
are
players
entirely stacked against him.
There's
right?
4 players on the B bomb site. Yeah, I'm just gonna get 3 entries.
Yeah, I was like, okay, they're being really brave, leaving like just Coolest over towards the A side. But you know what? Maybe they needed all 5 there.
I mean, honestly, I think Score even gets the 4th. The only reason why he doesn't is because he's thinking, nah, no way there's a 4th player here. That's
yeah, there's no way. And Coolest simply isn't ready for Techno, shifting all the way.
Gosh.
So
What a nightmare.
that is just Score brute forcing around.
Yeah,
There's
and
no
look,
other way to go about it. That couldn't have been the round for IHC.
You asked me what the IHC strengths are. It's Techno and Score and Banana. These 2 players are so much of the cause of success because the amount of space they're able to find, the kind of entries they're able to find, and you combine that with Bartek and Blitz being great at lurking into apartments at key times. It makes their T-sides very nightmarish to deal with, and what Coolest is doing right now, that's Annihilation on a routine day if he's feeling it, so on CT side at least, so, you know, that's the strengths, but the weaknesses are also abundantly clear. The question is, which one will prevail?
Slow take into apartments. Eruption have previously had a little bit more attention towards apartment, but this time around they don't, and it's going to be a straight apps drop. Coolest will be in a bit of a rock and a hard place, but at least he's got backup. Dobu wants to aggress in the middle. Coolest simply cannot find his way out of this island. Dobu unchecked for quite a while, but it doesn't even matter because he's given up his teammates to be able to stay alive. Man switching over to the MP9 as well. Annihilation doesn't progress any further, knows that there's absolutely no reason to contest this. IHC, they should have this round with a vice-like grip.
Dobu's still tearing it up right now. Reminding us all that he was, of course, the main man versus Scorer for such a long time in Mongolia. Not a player who we've had a chance to sing as many praises for in Anubis. Obviously, so much of Anubis was just the coolest show, as well as, you know, Yami and Fury having some great rounds. But now that the scoreline is, you know, equalized to 6-6 once again, I have to start to wonder, Eruption, is this going to be a force spike coming out from them, considering how much success they've had on them? You know, they do have that op for Coolest that's been getting aggressive early on, that's been finding the kills. Annihilation has also been forced to rebuy up the AWP, so, you know, the T-side is on the verge of reset. There could be a justified buy-in.
I'm not really sure that Eruption are going to have the same pieces in terms of being able to create space like Score has been able to, right? So when it heads on over to the T side, I think the story could be very different. Perhaps IHC can make it very one-sided. But for now, yeah, it's just the all Coolest game at the moment. Very aggressive.
Players up Banana early on. He's worried about that Score positioning that has caught them off before, and now he'll just be left to hold on for dear life and for B site. Lots of flashbangs though, so IHC should not be peeking into this one without a lot of tests, but Coolest is going to peek back into it. Re-peeks over Annihilation! Oh. Not on the corner he was expecting him to be, so Annihilation will live to fight another day, but now that's revealed where the op is, and they're looking isolated.
Oh, pressure finally comes through. Score with a quick boost on the top of his teammate's head is able to get Coolest, and now as the smoke starts to prevail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that the CTs can do with just these things.
Well, you say that Shinobi at least gets one more, right? But yeah, not exactly what you want to see, especially when Kulos buys into this round completely. And this is what I meant by I feel like a buy is justified, but it's such a weird buy that they go for. Coolest fully invests into it down to $0, and sure, if he's thinking he can save, that's an option for absolutely, but if you're being left alone on the B bomb side, that's going to be very unlikely. Unless it's just an A-side hit and your teammates die, right? So there's that to consider. At the same time, Yami also buys down to 600. So you've got two players who will not have economy in the next round. And sure, the loss bonus isn't the best anyway, so maybe you wanted to save there regardless. But it's just odd, because if you're going to be saving the next one, just buy up in this, right? Dobu had enough for an M4.
You can tell that Coolest, for his role, he knows that he has like these massive shoes that he's trying to fill. He consistently feels like he needs to go for these microaggressions, because we've seen him take control of apartments early on. We've seen him go for these little peaks with the AWP. And it has worked out before, like it did in the previous map, like it has worked out in this map as well. But unfortunately, when you start forcing a player into aggressing, not when he has the opportunity, but because he simply has to, that's when IHC can start to capitalize on that, right? Time and time again, we've seen Coolest feel a little bit too much pressure there. For example, we saw the previous round, Coolest, he continuously felt like he simply had to take that duel in Banana, which is what ended up being his downfall. Went to the repeat on Fallen. But yeah, the economy troubles you were talking about earlier, they're starting to come to light now. An XM out of all things?
This is a weird buy.
Or it would be a bit of an understatement, actually. I mean, we really see too many XMs around here.
Shinobi naded himself.
Cold hands, cold feet.
No, actually, no, I'm lying. He didn't. I think he got naded by the enemy team. I don't know. I'm not sure. But regardless, he's taking damage. He's not feeling too happy about it. Yami, though, he is on cloud 9, not the Counter-Strike team.
XM paying off dividends, and he's been able to recover an AK off the back of it. Let's see if this quick return on investment is actually going to allow him to double up on his kills.
This is a very solid position to be in right now. They have 4 players on the A-bomb side. This full crossfire being set up as well. Yami might have died, but that's the AK loss, right? So they might be thinking there was only 1, maybe 2 players there. So as they move into the mincer, they're going to be the mincemeat. Fury has gone and found 2, but Score responds with his own double, only to realize Dobu was still the Viper in the weeds. Fights around the corner, re-peeks back over. Blitz will take it into his own hands, and Shinobi is left with a tough decision. He knew that the bomb was dropped down mid. Blitz could go back towards the B bomb site, but Blitz is more concerned about Shinobi rotating over and getting information. 25 seconds on the clock.
It came down to the 1-on-2. Blitz has already gotten the first. Just a matter of punching those digits in and winning the 1 versus 1. By the time the rotation comes in, the bomb will already be down, and Blitz can get into a comfortable position. But he's eager to try and go for it. Yeah, they just spotted each other. Quick little jump spot as well from Blitz. And now he's repositioned. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to expect this close angle, but he does, and he's too quick on the trigger. Incredible work, and that's what put Eruption on the 7th round.
That's fantastic. Shinobi realizes that there's only one angle that he really has to care about, because if he's going in towards a back secret position, then Shinobi's going to be having an advantage over there anyway, as long as Blitz is going to go for the standard jiggle peek rather than the wide swing, right? Coffin's not something you have to worry about. So front Coffin and right next to Coffin that he peeks out and clears out first. That's beautiful. It's so well played in the one-on-one. Because remember, he had an incendiary, right? And he knew he's not new box. So in case Coffin is clear, you can molly out Coffin deep, or you can molly out secret, either one of them, and that should win you the round regardless. So he goes for the single angle it could have been for the initial duel. That's really nicely played. Ah, that nade. Oof.
Yeah, that was a chunky nade for sure. Things have slowed down a little though as IHC waits for some of the utility to expire for the CTs. Of course, Eruption have been a little heavy-handed when it comes to their use of utility. They're going to be down to just flashbang. They realize that they want to try and take advantage of just their positions and their weapons early on into Banana, so they try and Fury. Oh, he's caught with his pants down courtesy of the flash of Annihilation. And now B-side is up for grabs. Dobu, the only member that can actually contest it. The lurk has been taken out courtesy of Yami. And now Dobu, he's playing the waiting game. He wants his teammate to be able to come through.
Or for the bomb person planted. That's where Dobu goes for the initial duel. He's done this before. What's out the play? He's gonna keep on fighting, keep on going. Annihilation only with the open. Now cornered in. A pistol won't do it. Eruption will find the 8th and they break the half an advantage. Regardless of whatever IHC are able to put forward, we're off to a short break. And when we're back into the second half, and it'll be time for us to see what Eruption has in store.
Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Backpack, Kippen und Drinks gegen Tristesse. Großstadtbild, komm ich nicht weg. Kopf fragt, mach kein Pisstest, nein. Ich will nicht auf deine Party gehen. Teufel tanzen schwansee. Von deinen Lippen tropft der Chardonnay. Ich küss ihn weg, bevor du schlafen gehst. Sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Faded auf den Wohnzimmerdeal. Baby, sag, wieso sind wir hier? Kann sein, dass wir den Boden verlieren. Wir heben ab morgens um 4. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg.
break. Welcome back, because Eruption might just take it out 2-0 tea time.
Well, we'll have to wait to see, right? Because I see now on the CT side, they'll be able to pull out the off for Annihilation as well, and we saw how well he was playing even in that first half, 15-10 to top it out. The score's not too far behind on 17 and 13, but obviously this pistol round's going to be such an important part of that. And very similar to what they did on their T side, they're going for an early peek forward. The flashbang, however, from the T side is to prevent IHC's push from really capitalizing and materializing. Score, once again, unable to find anything there. And Fury as well.
Fact that he gets away with his life there after such a heavy commitment is still something to write home about. But now Eruption are starting to route their efforts towards B.
Four players are going to be ready over here from IHC, and if that's their options plan, well, I don't know if they've got a score in them, right? Last time we saw 4 players in the B-bomb side, it's a triple entry. It probably doesn't happen every time.
Oh man, this is a little tough for Eruption actually, because they've basically gained no space with 40 seconds remaining on the clock. Now, of course, that's not as big of a deal when it comes to the pistol round, but this is going to work out for them perfectly, because IHC, they're setting their rotations over towards the A site, and by the time they start to react, the bomb should be going towards B. But the problem is, IHC is winning all of their duels. Techno gets one, should be able to put the lid on the final member over towards the A site as well. And by the time they start to go towards B, the score is already, yeah. Apparently he can take care of Banana in reverse as well.
Well, he's a B-side player. Yami, you really need to die right now, buddy. Score does them a favor there. They needed that loss bonus in the next round, otherwise they would have been forced into a force buy. Eruption, generally speaking, doesn't like to force buy in that second round as much so. I know it's a very common occurrence otherwise, but even so. For
One of the problems I can already expect is that Eruption are going to have such a difficult time putting rounds on the board when you don't really have that AWP being enabled by the CT side, right? Because Coolest is going to be out of commission in terms of just having that that pure ability. Unfortunately, I do think that is going to affect their scores now. Tech9 start to go through. They've got armors all across the board, and they're just trying to brute force their way through. Annihilation saves his head because he doesn't really peek into the Tech9s, and pretty much a fire range here from CT. Man, Score's just been trouble.
He's really on fire right now. Up to 22 and 13 with that round. And obviously, look, it's anti-force buys, anti-whatever. Sure, cool. Tech9's hurt. Right? Mm-hmm. Especially when they're trying to rush you down like that. There's also a fantastic grenade coming out to make sure that they will be peppered down and still tempered away. And this is going to be IHC hopefully able to guarantee a 10th. Now, as many problems as they might have had against force buys on their T side, I don't think it's always been the same amount of truth in that factor on CT side. Even if they have been characterized as such sometimes, I personally think that they can be liable to peaking overly aggressively, but less so when they've had such a bad first half. Meanwhile, there's some tic-tac-toe going on in Coolest. As you can see in the mini-map. Who's winning? Well, you know what? I'm going to cheat and actually go over there and find out. Oh, Coolest won that round.
Oh, skill issue.
Indeed. You can tell he's the one who's really carrying his team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, regardless of the tic-tac-toe, just gives them some more time to discuss the calls and make sure the CTs are bleeding out that utility. Blitz starts off with a quick frag onto Shinobi. That was a deagle, of course, taken out of his hands. He won't be too happy about it. But yeah, should be easy breezy.
I mean, the jig is up, right? IHC know exactly what's going on. You're just going to mow them down as they go through.
And hell, man, even if you use all your utility, if you've got 5 players alive, you're happy with that. Yeah, I mean, it's hoping to bring the god of lightning. And, well, ancient Greece was a long time ago.
Double digits now secured for IHC, and they're still not really in the position where they can get too comfortable. We know how that previous game went, and we know how the first half went for them. So, want to make sure they can capitalize on their CT side as much as they can. Can't really give up any of their economy. Very easily turn upside its head. Eruption unwilling to go for early banana contest. Taking their sweet time, just waiting for that utility to start to come through from IHC. Of course, that does sacrifice a fair bit of map control, and that does allow IHC to be a little bit more aggressive in apartments if they choose to, but that's not an option they've actually opted for, so they should be fine. You see that Yami is now tasked with the responsibility of slowly getting a little bit of space over towards second middle, while Eruption get another point man to do some exploration for them over towards banana.
This duel,
one foot out the door.
this duel between Fury and Blitz is going to be crucial if he actually ends up finding blood for it. And Blitz has used that incendiary. He's got another one in his pocket. Of course, has had a lot of utility dedicated to him. And fighting in for Backets is going to be a disaster. Being set up, flashbang forward, but the smoke will actually save their life for a while longer. They have turned tail and they are running straight to this B-bomb site. Then smokes back to CT. Fury setting up for the full execute. This is great timing if they can just get onto the site. Blitz needs to be fully blind, but he's playing from near box. He's gone. Shinobi to get the frag. 30 seconds. This Molotov will differentiate them long enough that the CT smoke will start to dissipate. And when it does, there's so many players here. Annihilation being tagged up will reveal that fact as well. And now it's time for the bomb to be planted. CT smoke is gone. Annihilation will prevent it, but there's still plenty of time to go one more time.
There's just about a little bit more time for the CTs to come through, and the rotation from Techno starts coming closer as well. Unfortunately for them, Eruption are in solid position. Bartek is able to cheat the Molotov, comes up close, but he's now losing players, and he's about to lose his life as well. Bartek, kill on the player in triple. How is he getting away with this? This should be a crossfire, and Coolest finally comes in clutch. 9th round on the board for Eruption, but IHC, they can still fire on all cylinders if they'd like to. They've got plenty of money in the pocket, and they need to fight it out tooth and nail.
That's a fantastic read coming out from Eruption, though. The fact that they're able to realize that there's a stack on the B-bomb side and then use the faster rotation timing for the T's as well as they do, right? That's great stuff. Fury's main job was to make sure that at least one Molotov was used on the B-bomb side, because the double molly is actually the duration it takes for you to fully rotate back from A, leaving a lurker over there to take care of any T-side lurkers as well. So when there's only the single molly available for Blitz, yeah, that round's theirs.
Eruption are looking like a team that generally just shies away from taking any early contests, and they're very comfortable in wasting utility for the CT side. Especially because they feel a lot more comfortable in taking their, in making their late round executes actually work. Quite a bit of space being granted by Fury though. Defensive smoke also disallows IHC from getting too much information, even if they do peek into banana, so... That wall is sort of, ooh.
They have
that is...
That's
going to make it near impossible to get into the site, right?
Scaling here is going to be so difficult. Blitz is going to be able to continue to keep these apartment players at bay. Bartek's position is revealed, and Blitz has to just take these duels. He's winning them outright. A quick smoke down to keep himself alive. Bartek will now be given the first real duel of the round for himself, but he's done his job just by staying alive. You can't break into the A-bomb site like that. Fury is the only one left alive. Blitz is so low, but he's managed to stay alive for this long. Seems like that'll just continue forward. 12 seconds on the clock. Fury needs to plant the bomb. He'll get the first kill, but to go back, recover it, and then even make it onto the bomb site, he's not even going to have time.
It wasn't even in mini pit, so even if he preemptively tried to get it, he would still have to jump up and expose himself to library, and by the time he even recognizes that, the player's already repositioned, so there's no point.
Great hold on that
incredible
bomb
work
side from
being
Blitz,
done by IHC, but that was less about IHC going above and beyond, and more about Eruption just walking into a bunch of pro players with no flashbangs. I mean, come on, guys. They deathmatch for hours a day as a job. Like, do you think they're not going to shoot back if they have nothing to dissuade them?
I got him early on by a deep nade. The double nade will be too far in. Fury's got the perfect position
Oh no.
for the double entry. And sure, Bartek does respond. It's still a 3-on-3. Retake is very possible with the kind of utility that they've got available to them. But this bomb is going to be planted for free.
Annihilation if he goes for a pot shot through the smoke. Maybe he had a chance at getting the bomb carrier away, but no. Bomb now starts to take down. And yes, as you just mentioned, the utility is going to be of the essence. Fury, he's flashed out of his mind. His eyelids are glued shut, but Shinobi's able to fight back. Had another chance at being able to take away the AWP player, but he misses the shot. Dobu can start to see them come through. No, he's on the reload. He's left Shinobi in a 1-on-2. First player taken away. Annihilation misses the shot. Switching over to B250. Shinobi still trying to find him, but all of these shots are being missed. But the headshot on Annihilation. Eruption are able to get a 10th.
What a chaotic 2 versus 2 right there.
Yeah.
I mean, first, running out of ammo over there is just classic M4A1 behavior. Just, you forget sometimes, and at the same time, Shinobi, first of all, Annihilation doesn't actually react to his position, quite fairly so, and exposes himself, but then Shinobi can't get the kill, then he's struggling with the P250. It's just a round of chaos, but Eruption will still thrive within it and find themselves up to a 10th, and now comes the test. Right, now we find out whether the malady of anti-force by losses exists on either side, or is it just isolated to IHC. Deep grenades going out to clear out the angle, score's gone.
Yeah, the banana specialist has been taken care of, so IHC, just one man down for them. If they do decide to take further control of B, they're also going to have to only run into one player, so it should be pretty easy for them to take away Techno, and it seems like that's what they're doing. They've thrown a smoke down, they're going for a bit of an execute here. Just a matter of landing the shots on Techno, and at 5-7, I'm really not banking on a whole lot.
Well, you were right, so...
I mean, what are they even going to do with this, right? Even with the weaponry they have, they save it. Even if they were fortunate enough to have a max round loss bonus, even that would not be enough to really net them the weaponry required to stop Eruption from getting to the 12th and getting the lead. So
look, the idea is straightforward, right? Which is that if we had faith in ourselves once, we can have faith in ourselves again, theoretically. Obviously, it would be slightly worse, and now even more so that you don't have that max 7 for Blitz, as well as the M4 for a score, which of course he started off with before being double mated into Oblivion. And you're right, Eruption should be in a position to take the lead. Should is a word that has betrayed many hearts in Counter-Strike. So, let's not count our chickens before they die. As it is Inferno.
the faith from IHC, of course, not really paying too many dividends. The thing is, right, you talked about how IHC were basically specialists in close out the game. And this is a pretty important game for them. So, yeah, Coolest. He's got HLTV on the second monitor, right? He's just hitting F5 over and over.
Listen, they've got there's a reason why that flashback is called flash, right? Okay. It's not that silent, guys. I know it's a USB, but it's not that silent. Regardless, 3 players alive will be more than enough for them. I mean, Bartek keeping the AK forward would be at least something to take home, but for him, you could make an argument for damage prioritization instead. In the last few rounds, there may still be a potential of resetting the T-side economy if you can kill 1 or 2 players here, but it seems increasingly unlikely.
Oh man, the one thing they could have been able to secure, even that AK falls out of their hands, that is one man that's not going to have full utility.
Actually, quite a few.
Just for that particular wielder of the AK.
Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of missing utility on him, but yeah, an extra set of utilities out.
Score's not going to have much either, right? Blitz doesn't have all that much on him. Annihilation won't have an incendiary unless he doesn't want to have a smoke. Expect a lot of aggression this round from IHC, right? At least that's what you'd hope so from Annihilation. As much as you were mentioning that, hey, Coolest felt really pressured, Coolest did capitalize on opening kills like 5 times in that first half when they were in 4-buy situations. And we haven't seen the same impact from Annihilation. He started off 15 to 10 at the beginning of this half, while now he's 17 and 14. And as great of a scoreline that is, not so much when you consider that to basically be 2 and 4 for the half.
It's never really been anything new from Eruption. They've always gone for a slow style of play at the start of the round, and then they have faith in their late round executes to come through. Fury, though, he's crept past. He's able to get the drop on score, which he does. And now he knows that B site is up for grabs. Smoke goes out. Information on the second player available as well, so he can start to call his reinforcements. With the smoke being chucked by the remaining CT, it doesn't even matter. Techno, he still wants to have at least one foot through the door, and he tries to reach out preemptively. But he does back off eventually. Techno, good for one more as he falls. And Eruption, they've got a pretty costly take of the B site, but that is incredible work being done by Fury on the start.
Or at least he was. Now he'll be traded out if he just stayed inside the underpass for a while longer. That would have been the round over. Would have heard every single player coming his way. Now instead, they know that there should at least be one player in Banana, but they don't know about the second one's positioning. Annihilation could be coming from any place in the world. No smokes available for this T side. They've got a double nade on them if they want to reveal their positions, but that's going to be so unlikely that that's their desire. Smoke down near the bomb doesn't quite cover off the player playing next to it. The double nade from the CTs is what gets them at first. It's a trade from Yami, almost there. Annihilation while dropping down.
No, they don't have time though.
Aye, aye, aye.
That was such incredible work by Annihilation, but just a defuse kit could have made all the difference. I mean, a little late to the commitment over towards the retake, but still have to respect that AWP shot. 13 to 11 in an Eruption. You talked about how there was a chance that the T-side economy could potentially be reset, or at least they would struggle to scrape a couple AKs, at least in one or two of these rounds, but right now, they're looking pretty solid. They've got bomb plants galore. They keep racking up the money. They've got Dobu. They've got Yami. They've got Coolest, who are all sitting above $5,000. They've got as much money as they could possibly need in this round. And I'd see they are scrambling for cash. And for Eruption, the drawing board knows no visitors. They don't really change anything up. Any changes that are being brought forward are just on an... You saw that Fury, he's sort of the one player that is allowed to take free reign. He kind of likes to play it to his own pace. Plays it a little bit too passively sometimes. Was able to get the drop on score when he finally capitalized on the information that he's preconditioned his enemy with in the previous round. Just relying on these individuals to make their plays.
Look, it's just some fantastic default protocols coming out from them, right? That's, at the end of the day, you don't need anything new if your default is that strong and you're able to work off of it as much. So, combine a strong default with some great leads, and Eruption have been thriving. Again, fantastic kill from Yami, and he's going to be able to pressure out to the CTs as well. And as they do so, the flashbang is deployed so the Techno can't get aggressive from behind it. Fury's been left there as well, but there's 25 seconds, so moving in onto A's. Getting aggressive. They get the first, traded out for one more. Blitz has already revealed his position, so Shinobi knows where to pre-fire, and the AK will just reveal. Techno soon to meet the rest of his team in the afterlife and score. Well, he's still got a mind to save his dimes and not pay the ferryman, but Fury will make sure the River Hades is still going to be crossed.
tough score to be in. Both the scoreboard and the player score, because he's going 26 and 19, and it's still not paying enough dividends to get them over towards the finish line. And this is seeming a lot like Anubis, right? Very similar scoreline. And IHC, they realize that they have to try to make something even with nothing, right?
Yeah.
They have a Mag 7 on score, they've got a kill in there, two pistols, armor. They're trying to get it done, and perhaps score can be a little bit more than just a menace. One kill to the man, and now Techno quickly realized that he wants to try and capitalize off of his teammate's previous position. Which is a little unorthodox. Too many fast presences, and the one time they do, there's a Mag 7 waiting for them.
Well, they're still very committed towards this B-bomb side, right? Like, they're worried about the idea of a stack on either side, but they are death balling wherever they go, and this ability, now the stack will start to go the other way. Flashes forward, Annihilation is lying in front of the smoke. Techno spotted out as well. They'll be trying to isolate out that kill, and they will succeed, but the flashback from Bartek, as good as it was still one more man anti-flash. That was Shinobi, who was able to eliminate Annihilation. Now will fall, but the CZ and the USB is all they have, and bullets are going to be depleted pretty soon if I know the CZ.
Yeah, he got a little lucky on the kill through the smoke, but that's really all he's able to write home about. 15 to 11 for Eruption, and
I mean, this is big. Look, if you're wondering, IHC will not be eliminated over here regardless, right? This is a double elimination bracket. You will be able to fight it out from the lower bracket once again, theoretically, but this is a strong win for Eruption to go off of if they are able to capitalize, and that's a big if. They're not there yet. They still do have at least one more gun round to move past, and Bartek, look at this man. He is a forager, but then he's dead because he went into the dinosaur's den. Dobu, the last dinosaur. It's a reference too dated for you. You're too young for that. I understand. It's okay.
That's fair, because like I know we're only 2 years apart, but like realistically, see, you and I both know you're like 26 going on 41.
Well, let's hope that Eruption is in 15 going on 16 right now. If you're a fan of IHC, that's what you should be hoping for, but Techno is blind and very much on fire, not the right way. Yami and Annihilation will trade out frags apiece, but that's why Fury is still covering off. Annihilation is down.
Big. That leaves one defender on the A site, which means that there's going to be some signs of trepidation for IHC. They're going to double down on B with two of these players. In fact, the rotation might also come through from Bartek, so this could be a big gamble. Now, Bartek's playing arches. He wants to be in a position where he can quickly rotate over with the AWP if need be. Oh, score! Hitting that pixel shot. Crispy stuff. All he needs is a hairline there.
He missed out a few of those on Anubis, right? And this is where he
gotta make up for it.
Yeah, this is where maybe that scoreline does actually help him out. He is feeling himself. Bartek covering off brackets, but will not be prepared for what looks to be an apartment's take for A.
Now the question is whether or not Bartek's going to be able to deliver on the same front as Core did. When the pressure starts to mount, all three players getting ready for that apartment presence, though. There's nothing to stop them with the exception of the AWP situated in arches.
And
although they're being very meticulous, this could be the one thing that costs them. It allows enough time for Bartek to be in the position to take Fury, but Coolest is able to fight right back. 2-on-2, and Eruption could close it out right here if they play their cards right.
Planted, they're moving in, there won't be enough time to pick it right back up. He's going to be caught on the cross. Score reveals himself, 5 seconds on it. He has to take the duel. There isn't enough time. Scores behind him. Scores behind you. The M4A1, but he turns, won't get the kill. Has to at least try and get the frag just for some sort of salvation.
No way.
But the A1S, there wasn't volume. He thought it was being spammed through the smoke.
Oh my god, the one time the A1S works. And it's in such a precarious spot. That could have actually been the kill for him had he had a little bit more time, if he reacted to the bullets that were whizzing past his ears. And Eruption, you can feel that there's some discord within them because they've taken a tactical timeout. They realize how close they are to the finish line, only to potentially trip up.
God, that's gotta be some messy comms going on over there. Hey, why didn't you just kill Blitz? Like, he had to wrap around the entire box to try and find me. Right? Some messy comms. That's also one of the reasons why you're not going to be able to hear, you know, that M4A1. It's not like the A1 itself is super quiet. It's that when everyone else is really loud, it seems like it doesn't exist.
And it's easy to point out that maybe, you know, Eruption didn't play it to perfection, but also, I mean, Blitz, the ball's on the man to actually just push through the smoke and wrap around while there's a defender there as well, right? You've really got to give him credit for it.
I mean, not playing out the 2v2 in the traditional way is exactly what wins him that round.
Back to their old ways for Eruption. Fury actually not willing to aggress too far forward on Banana this time around. Okay, I think there's about to be a bit of a scrap here because look at what's going on over towards the Cubby and the Logs. Techno, I don't think Fury quite knows what's going on here, and Techno is going to make himself scarce. He doesn't want to give up any information. He wants to allow these teams to move forward, but Fury, he's got a finger on the pulse. And that's their open run.
No rotation's actually coming out. Oh, that grenades. Beautiful. Partek's not feeling too good about himself with the MP9 anyway. How many you add a grenade to the tally? Oh.
Now keep in mind, Score has been really fond of this position before, and he's been punished in it. In the meantime, the crux of the action will be making its way towards Fury. He's being very careful about this angle. Score gets punished, and now they might just have the information that B-side is up for grabs, but it doesn't matter. They're too far forward. They're too far committed with this bomb. 20 seconds on the clock, and they've got to worry about 3 players on the A. Bomb side, Annihilation and Bartek. They're starting to go wild. The MP9 of Dreams. Annihilation takes a few shots, but they simply can't get close enough to start to get the bomb. Time is being wasted. Coolest gets shots in the side. And IHC, they're able to hold on for dear life with just 3.
That grenade is everything. That grenade from Annihilation slows them down enough that the MP9 can just mow them down. Annihilation also doesn't need to do any more than just body shots and staying alive. Right? It's not like they get these crazy deagle headshots or just like an MP9 swinging out. That grenade slows them down so much. There wasn't a chance for them to scale onto the bomb site. And again, time working out against them. Is this where finally Eruption's slow style is being countered out by IEC by the simple time-old tactic of, hey, why don't we just chill for a while?
The good old wait. That's it. That's the strategy.
Yeah. And look, like you said, Score peeking forward and dying opened up the B bomb site. But the problem was Fury was so far back that he couldn't actually threaten the scaling onto B itself. So there was no reason for IHC to even consider rotating a single player. The distance from bottom banana to top banana when they're 29 seconds long is awfully long.
You can see that Eruption are starting to change up their strategy a little bit because previously they haven't really paid too much attention over towards apartments. Now the lucky thing for them is that IHC don't particularly like taking apartments either, which is why they've been able to get away with it scot-free rather than stab in the back time and time again. But the switch up in pace might be exactly what they need.
Fury is able to force Score backwards, but I don't think that was their intention.
The biggest thing for me right now is the fact that they've been able to force out so much utility and they've left the CTs with only 1 Molotov while scaling on for so much presence over towards either side.
It's still going to be the same thing. They've used their last flashbang.
No,
Faking out an Archer's wrap. And they come in from behind. Lam's not going to connect, but now the Fury's been tagged up. That might have been audible. Hard for Blitz himself to have heard it, but they are looking to pop through the smoke. on the back of Dobu. Yami will be looking to escort it onto A. They are still very much committed here, but Blitz circling in from behind is going to be massive.
Oh.
Fantastic shot, but they're not ready for this. Blitz will push through. Blitz will find the frag. They are not ready for annihilation inside the bomb site. He'll be traded finally, but Blitz is still revealing his position. The bomb can be planted this time. No shenanigans from Blitz. Deep grenade as well will try and cross over from behind it. Yami will find pit position, and now it's a full 3-on-3 score. Moving through. Got the angle to try and take the duel versus Shinobi early on, and that's what they'll go for with the flashbang in the pit, but Dobu and Shinobi shut it down. Blitz is all alone. A 1-on-3 with 11 HP, not a single chance in hell. Dobu takes it. They will seal the deal. 16-13. Eruption will take it away 2-0 and somehow prevail. Both maps they were behind. Both maps. Just get it done.
That is just incredible work being done by Eruption all throughout the game. You know, within their region, they really want to prove themselves as the new team to shut IHC down, and